you are a Teachers Pay Teachers seller, then chances are you would love to get more traffic to your store, right? And if you can get traffic to your store without having to pay for ads, that's even better. Now, the good thing is there is a way that you can get more traffic to your store without paying for ads, and that is with SEO. So if you don't know what SEO is, or you always hear it talked about, but you're like, I don't actually know what that is. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it can make a huge difference in how much traffic gets to your resources and how many resources you sell. My name is Becca, and I am the music teacher behind Becca's Music Room. I also have this YouTube channel where we talk pretty much all TPT tips all of the time. So if you are interested in more helpful videos like this, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Today, what we're going to talk about is SEO, which is search engine optimization. Specifically, we'll talk about what SEO is, how to do better with your SEO on Teachers Pay Teachers, blogging, or YouTube, and the do's and don'ts of SEO. Now, if you did find this video and you're like, I don't even know what Teachers Pay Teachers is, that's fine. It's still a helpful video, but just a heads up, I am kind of directing this towards TPT authors. So if you are interested in learning more about SEO and how you can get more traffic to your resources, let's hop right on in. All right, so first off, again, SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's one of those terms that gets thrown around all of the time, and a lot of people don't really know what it is. Basically, search engine optimization just means you are making your product or your blog post or your YouTube video optimized for search. So you are creating it with the intention that Google is going to help people find it. You want the search engines like Google or Yelp or Bing or whatever to be able to find your resource when people are looking for something that is similar to your resource. So SEO means that you are just doing all of these things and kind of checking all these different boxes to help out Google or the TPT search bar to help you get closer to the top of the search so that you can then sell more products because you're closer up to the top. I mean, seriously, when's the last time you went to the second page of Google? So the better your SEO is, the better your rankings are going to be, because it will be easier for people to find you. All right, so SEO runs on keywords. Keywords are what people are actually typing into the search engine in order to find what they're looking for. So keywords are just literally what people are looking for and the words that they are using in the search bar. So the magic of SEO is to figure out what keywords you want to rank for and then put those keywords in the correct spots, which we're going to talk about what the correct spots are in this video. The first thing that you want to know about keywords is, again, it is the actual words people are typing into the search bar. The reason I'm making a big deal about that is because you want to make sure that you're using words that people are looking for. So for example, I recently made a new product. It is a rhythm game and it's called Asteroid. It's super, super fun. But here's the deal. Nobody is typing into search Asteroid unless they saw me talk about it on Instagram and then they went to TPT to look for it. What they are typing in is rhythm games and things like that. So when I'm thinking about keywords for my Asteroid product, I don't want my keyword to be Asteroid because no one's looking for Asteroid. I want my keyword to be rhythm games or something along those lines, or like active rhythm games or something like that, so that it's actually what people are typing into search. Now, some of these search terms are very competitive. If you're looking for like first grade math lesson, there's gonna be a lot that pop up for that. So you kind of want to narrow it down by doing something magical called long tail keywords. And long tail keywords are just making things a little more specific, but things that people are still looking for. So again, I went from rhythm games to active rhythm games, or active rhythm games for distance learning. Those would be good keywords to help me rank better in search when I'm newer, because they are a little bit more specific as opposed to trying to rank for like rhythm games and then, you know, always getting outranked by West music and things like that. So when you're thinking about keywords, you want to think, what are people actually typing into the search bar? And then what are ways that I can kind of differentiate my resource from the really big search terms that everybody's looking for. Because it's a lot better to be on the first page of active rhythm games for distance learning than to be on the 10th page for rhythm games. In order to figure out what your keywords are, there are some tools that you can use, but today we're just gonna talk about like really general things. We might have an entire video about keywords because there is so much I can say about them, but I don't want to spend the whole time talking about that. So what I do want to tell you is to find your keywords. You can, one, just use your common sense. Again, rhythm game, asteroid. Two, you can type into either Teachers Pay Teachers or Google or YouTube or whatever you're using and see what pops up. I actually do this when I post videos about TPT. I will go to YouTube and I will type in the keyword that I'm thinking of for my video, and then I will see what else pops up. And sometimes something that pops up is gonna be better than what I had thought. So I might type into Google rhythm games, and then it might pop up with rhythm games for first grade, rhythm games for second grade. It might pop up with active rhythm games. All of those things are gonna be other options for keywords that are going to be helpful. Those results are gonna be what people are actually searching for, and that's why they're popping up on Google or on Teachers Pay Teachers in that like suggested search box. Now, once you figure out what your keyword's gonna be, you have to put it in the correct places in order for it to make a difference. Now, that's gonna be different on Teachers Pay Teachers, on YouTube, and on blogs. So we'll talk about each of those separately. Let's get started first with TPT. So in Teachers Pay Teachers, you want that keyword to be in your title first and foremost. So when I posted asteroid, I didn't just say asteroid and leave it there. I said asteroid rhythm game, or I think it's asteroid active rhythm game or something along those lines. I made sure I put that keyword that I wanted people to find me for in the title, even though the name of the game was asteroid. I still wanted the name there so that I could find it and other people could find it if I was like talking about it on YouTube or on Instagram, but I wanted to make sure that they had that keyword in there to make sure it can get found in search. So number one is put in your title. Number two is put it in your snippet. Your snippet is the first 3 lines of your description. So that very first little paragraph is gonna make the biggest difference. This is where you want to put your keywords. So you wanna make sure that you put the keyword that you're looking for your thing, so rhythm games, but you also want to put keywords in there that go along with it. You can pack this full of different keywords. So my asteroid game is a rhythm game, so I want to make sure I have rhythm game. I also want to make sure that I have distance learning in there because it's good for distance learning. It's also good for teaching 6 feet away, so I'm gonna put that in there. I'm also gonna put a few different grade levels that could work for it, and I might even add in things like music class or music lessons, because those are all things that people will be searching for. So as you're writing your first paragraph in your TPT description, think through what are some things that people might type into the search that will help them find your resource? What do you want your resource to be found for when people are typing? Now, TPT is pretty simple, so that's pretty much the only places you really need to put it. You can also, of course, do those custom categories and make sure that you're tagging categories correctly so that those things will help it get found, but that's kind of the main thing. Now, if you are a blogger, then you will have a little bit more to do. For bloggers, you want to put that keyword in your title. You also want to put it a few times throughout your text. You also want to put it in your subtitles throughout your piece at least once or twice. This is why if you've ever like looked up a recipe, y'all, food bloggers drive me nuts. Can we just say this? Because they have like ads and pop-ups and all these things. It's so irritating. I'm like, just give me the dang recipe. But if you notice, before they give you the dang recipe, you have to scroll down and it'll say different titles like, why should I make vanilla ice cream? What's the best vanilla to use for vanilla ice cream? How should I make vanilla ice cream? It's because they're trying to rank for vanilla ice cream. And that's why they're adding all these extra things in there. And I'm like, all I need is the recipe. That's all I need. Please just give it to me. I love the ones that say like jump to recipe. I'm always like, yes, please, please, please. Anyway, if you're blogging, you'll also want to put your keywords in the alt text of your images, name your images with them, put it in your meta description, which is that part that shows up on Google, and in your URL. So if you were trying to rank for active rhythm games, then it should be like Becca's Music Room /active active-rhythm-game, because that's going to help the most. And if you are a blogger, if you're on WordPress, I highly recommend downloading the free plugin Yoast SEO, because it will make this so much easier. So easy. Now, if you don't have a blog and you're like, whoa, Becca, you just said many words I don't know, it's okay, don't worry about it. If you are on YouTube, however, you do want to put your keywords in your title, in your description, in your tags, and then you also want to say it, especially at the beginning of your video, because YouTube actually listens to your videos. It's super creepy. You want to say it especially at the beginning of your video, so if you can say it like really close to the beginning, that will help people to find it as well. All right, so far we have already gone over what SEO is, how to do better with SEO, SEO on TPT, and now we're down to the do's and don'ts of SEO. So these are just little SEO tips that will make a big difference on Teachers Pay Teachers and really just anywhere for getting your stuff found. Now, the first is a don't, and that is do not keyword stuff. Keyword stuffing is when you put the same keyword over and over and over again. So you're like, Asteroid is an active rhythm game. Active rhythm games are fun because blah, 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 blah. This is a great active rhythm game, blah, blah, blah. If you keep using the same keyword, TPT is gonna be like, yeah, I don't think so. And they're actually going to punish you and search for that. So don't keyword stuff. Do not just continually put the same keyword in there. On the flip side, do think of some synonyms. So if you have like active rhythm game, then I might also want like music class games or rhythm activities. Those are all things that people would be searching for. That is not like the one that I was originally talking about using, but is still super helpful. So synonyms can be really useful also because people might not type in active rhythm game, but they might type in like fun rhythm game or 5th grade rhythm game or different things like that that will make a difference. And so just try to think of different synonyms, especially on TPT, and make sure that you add those in there. For example, I always try to put in like music lesson, music class, and those kind of things, as well as whatever I'm trying to rank for, and just think through different, you know, 1st grade rhythm lesson, 2nd grade music activity, just different things like that, so that you are kind of casting a little bit of a wider net and also not keyword stuffing. The next is a do, and that is do right like a human. Sometimes when you read a blog post, you can tell that the person is really trying to rank for something in SEO, and it's very irritating because when it comes down to it, people are still the ones who are reading your stuff. So if you're in your description and you're just like keyword, 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 then no one's going to read it. They're gonna be like, what the heck is this? This doesn't even make sense, and they're just gonna click off. Instead, try to use those keywords in sentences, in ways that make sense, in areas that make sense, and stuff like that. So do think through, like, make sure you read it and make sure it's actually readable and decent. And the last one, if you saw my November coffee chat, you probably knew this was coming, but make sure your keywords are relevant. So do not use irrelevant keywords. Irrelevant keywords are keywords that don't actually have to do with your product, but you're just sticking in there in case someone might do it. So my stuff is about music, and if I'm trying to rank my Asteroid game as a rhythm game, I am not going to say, this will help you teach instruments of the orchestra. If my game is for 5th graders, I'm not going to put 1st grade anywhere in there because I don't want people to find me for 1st grade. I want them to find me for 5th grade. So make sure that your keywords are relevant. Let's have a little story time. So recently was Halloween and I dressed up like Snow White for Halloween. I'll pop up a picture. And for my Snow White costume, I needed a headband that was red that would be perfect for Snow White. And so I was looking on Amazon for headbands and I ended up finding some good ones. But before I found those, I found these listings for headbands. And they said, headbands for woman children. And I was like, so is it for women or is it for children? Because it says both. So I'm now confused as to who it's for and what it is. I'm like, okay, well then what size is it if it's for women and children? Because my head is not gonna fit a headband for children. So I did not buy any of the ones that said for women and children. I scrolled down until I found one that just said women's headband because that's what I was looking for. So make sure your keywords are actually relevant, because the worst thing you can do is get found for keywords that have nothing to do with you. Because what's gonna happen is if it's a product and you get found for a keyword and it has nothing to do with it, probably no one's gonna buy. I mean, they might, but probably not. Or they might buy thinking that your product is one thing and it actually being something else, and then they're gonna get irritated. If this is a YouTube video or a blog post, then people are going to start it and then they're gonna be like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. And then they're gonna click off, and that's actually going to hurt you in search. So make sure your keywords are very descriptive of what your product actually is, and not just things that you think will be popular or things that you think will make it better. I promise it's much better to just be honest and upfront. I always say that the more clear you can make things for your customers and the more upfront you are and the more you manage their expectations, the better your reviews will be, and more people will come back because they know what to expect. So they're not buying something, expecting one thing and getting something else. I hope this video was helpful. To recap, SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it just means helping Google find your stuff. SEO runs on keywords. Keywords are what people are typing into the search bar. You want to make sure that your keywords are relevant and have to do with your product and things like that, and that people are actually typing them in, so they're not like super weird things that nobody would ever say. With your keywords, you want to put them throughout your description, in your title, and if you're on a blog or a YouTube video, make sure you have it in tags and just things like that, so that Google will know that your resource or your blog post is about this one thing, and then they can send people over there. Do not keyword stuff. Make sure you write like a actual person, and make sure your keywords are relevant. So I think I was talking really fast. I apologize. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, and if you want to get more TPT tips and information, then definitely hit that subscribe button down below so that you will get notified when all the next, oh, and hit the notification bell, because you don't have to actually get notifications unless you hit the bell. So make sure you hit the bell so that you can get all of the TPT tips to really help your store take off and do really, really well. And you can kind of skip some of the mistakes that I made throughout my journey. That's always my goal, is to help you skip some of the things that I did that were like, why, Becca? Why? So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.